Passenger Seat Radio. What is it, the 17th of May? That sounds right. 17 May 2025. You are on my 13-mile commute home. Welcome to the show. So, wow, what a Monday. Damn. I don't think I had like a free minute like all day today. It's one of those kind of Mondays where from the second you walk in the morning until the second you walk out in the afternoon, just busy, 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 busy. Everybody needs you. Everybody wants something from you. Deliver this, deliver that. You know, first world problems, right? But yeah, I guess a little busier than normal, but that's okay. So it is written, so it shall be. Let me get out of the parking garage and we will get started with the show. All right. Well, I see a couple people already. Hey now, who's here? Oh, Alex J. Lopez is here. Hey man, what's up? Welcome. Afternoon. Oh, damn, these cars come from nowhere, man. Nobody's paying attention, I guess. Whatever. Anyway, so how'd everybody's weekend go? Mother's Day. Now, I live down here in Phoenix. My parents live up in Wenatchee, Washington. Good old Wenatchee. Just can't get away from Wenatchee, I swear. Anyway, so they were down. So my parents bought property down here in a place called Happy Jack. Crazy names up the that side of Arizona. Everything's named after like a tree or a fruit, right? You got strawberry, pine, blah blah blah, and then Happy Jack. What's that about? So my parents bought property. Oh, you're heading to Wenatchee on Friday. Wait a second. I just lost my thing. Heading through Wenatchee on Friday. Nice. Going to Yakima or Spokane, Seattle? Which way are you coming from? So, yeah, so my parents were down. They decided to sell the property. So they bought this property ages ago. And I don't think I ever told the story about this. So my parents bought some undeveloped property in Happy Jack here. Spokane, nice. Oh, Vancouver to Spokane. What's in Spokane for you? Relatives or what's going on? I haven't been to Spokane forever. Been to Seattle, Wenatchee, even Yakima I've been to since I've been to Spokane. All I remember about Spokane is the garbage-eating goat at Riverfront Park. I always thought that was like the coolest thing ever. But yeah, anyway, so let me get back to my parents' story. So they bought this property totally undeveloped in the middle of frickin' nowhere's land. Now you have to understand, my mom is one of those kind of off the grid people. She wants to live in a log cabin away from everything, doesn't want modern conveniences. She just wants to be in the boondocks. Well, she thinks she does anyway. So this was perfect for them. And my dad was a general contractor before he retired. And so, you know, he built his own house, blah, 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 everything, right? So their goal was they were going to build up there. So Happy Jack's like 3.5 hours away, something like that from Phoenix here. And it's quite the drive. Most of it's oddly enough through Phoenix. It's so bizarro. But anyway, so they bought the property up there and then they've made trips down here. My stepsister lives down here. I live down here. They've got friends that live down here. So they come down several times a year to do stuff with their property and to see family and friends, blah, blah, blah. So, oh, I guess I just got rerouted. Guess that wasn't a good idea after all. They're going to send me up Grand. Oh, maybe they're still going to send me up Grand. We'll see. Anyway, so they bought this property, like 60 grand, something like that. Nothing's on there. No electricity, no well, no septic, nothing. I mean, it's a parcel of land. So over the last several years, they've come down, they've put a full septic in, they had the well dug, they had electricity run to it. And in order to build there, they have to get approval, right? I mean, you have to get the permits and all that good stuff. Well, nothing but trouble. My dad, he's a professional builder, for crying out loud. He knows what he's doing. But every time he submits blueprints or plans or whatever, they always kick him back with some problem. Well, you don't have this. You didn't have that. And he's like, dude, it's right there. How come you're not seeing it? And they make him wait around. So I think they finally got fed up with it. And they decided that, they were starting to decide whether they wanted to sell the property or not. Well, this last year, they get a phone call from somebody saying that the property has sold. Congratulations, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, what the fuck? We didn't sell our property. Turns out somebody forged a power of attorney or some crap like that and basically started selling the property out from underneath them. Unfucking believable. So they had to come down here. My dad came down here and had to go to the realtors and invalidate this and produce all this ID and everything. Unfucking believable. And, well, it turns out, though, that the property was going to sell for like $250K. Right? That's a pretty nice chunk of equity in there, right? They spent $60K, another 50 or 60 to, improve it to where it was. And then somebody tried to phantom sell their property out from underneath them. It's unbelievable. Fortunately, they got that all squared away, but it took months. It took months to square that away. Meanwhile, the fucking ghouls that the guys sold the property to, they're out there measuring the drapes and for, basically getting ready to sell off all of his equipment that's there. They had people out there looking at the equipment to buy it. They weren't even, unbelievable. I don't even know what to say. So they finally decided that they're going to sell. So they came down this weekend and hauling a bunch of lumber up and tools and all that other stuff that they had on the property. Complete nightmare. So I know there's a Mother's Day story in here somewhere, right? So on Saturday they went back yesterday afternoon. So I said, how about for Mother's Day we can drive up? I'll bring my son, the grandkid with him, and we can have lunch, sit around, chew the fat, have a nice little Mother's Day lunch sort of thing. And so they wanted to meet in Payson. Yeah, you got to look that one up on a map so you know where that's at. It's one of those middle of nowhere towns. I mean, it's bigger than I thought it was going to be, but I mean, it's like, Payson, Arizona. Yeah, no, you're not hearing any Eagles songs about, standing on a corner in Payson, Arizona. No. But anyway, so they wanted to meet at a place called Crosswinds. They said, there's a great restaurant up here. We want you to go. We come here all the time. We want you to come up here and have a meal. They said, but it's very, very busy. And the earlier you can get here, the better, because otherwise we might not get a table. I'm like, holy shit, in Payson, Arizona? I don't know. Anyway, so they're like, yeah. It's like, well, maybe get up there about noon. So it's about a 2-hour trip. Meanwhile, my son is sick as hell. I mean, he's practically got a respirator on. I mean, he is fucking sick. And he's never sick. I mean, I get sick frequently. My wife gets sick frequently. My son, rarely. But when he gets sick, stay out of the way, because he's not a happy sick person. He's not one of those quiet people. He gets all uptight. So I'm stranded in a car with him breathing his noxious air, right? And what's worse is, can't believe he didn't like Blueprints, currently game of the year. Nope, didn't like it. In fact, I might even go so far as to say I hated it. Well, darling, should I hate him? I don't like it at all. Not my game. Not for me. Don't like it. Anyway, so they're like, okay. So I'm like, okay, how about, I think we can be there by 11:30, right? And they're like, okay, we'll get there before then and we'll get a table. It's like, okay. So we take off. My son is a complete miserable pit. I mean, he's not a happy camper. What's more is he can't taste or smell. So I'm thinking he's got the COVID. Now we're going to drive in this car. We're going to go see my parents. I'm going to get the COVID. He's going to give them the COVID. It's going to be a miserable next couple of weeks, right? So we drive up there, and I got it all. I got Crosswinds Restaurant, put in the GPS, ready to go, easy peasy, autopilot for 2 hours, and go. So we head up there, and we get into Payson first off, and it's like, okay, hi, welcome to Payson. And then it's like on the other side of Payson. I know that sounds funny. It's like a no-name one-horse town, but no, it's spread out. So we go to the other side, and we're like driving up this hill in this residential area. And I'm like, there's no fucking way there's a restaurant up here. Google has fucked us up. We're going to the top of some fucking hill, and there's no restaurant here. It's all nonsense. They must have got the name wrong, something. So we get up to the top of this hill, and my son's like, is that a helicopter? And literally to the right of us is an airfield with like a Carrier dual-bladed helicopter sitting there. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? My parents sent me to an airport? What, are we going to fly to Crosswinds or what? So we pull in, and Crosswinds is this little tiny diner experience that sits right on the runway. It's actually pretty cool if you get an opportunity. But it's like this, and it looks like, it literally looks like a double long trailer. It looks like we pulled into a trailer park. It's like a double long, double wide trailer next to the airfield. There's Cessnas all over the place, little tiny small airfield. And when we get there, they're not kidding. The place is packed. I mean, there's parking all over the place. Everything is packed. I'm going, holy shit, what's going on? Right? And so we did find a spot, fortunately, and we went in there, and it literally is this little tiny dinky, I mean, unbelievable. I wish I had taken pictures, but I'm sure there's plenty of pictures online. Crosswinds Restaurant, Payson, Arizona. Go look it up. That's where I had my lunch with my parents. And it was just packed. All sorts of people. Very, very different people. I mean, everywhere. Now, you would think in the middle of Payson, Arizona, hayseed between the teeth, you know, you would think that you'd be getting a lot of, you know, the locals. But for some reason, it seems to be some sort of a tourist destination spots. I mean, I saw people with a face full of piercings, tons of tattoos. I was blonde though, so not my type. But anyway, but yeah, it was really, really interesting. All the different types of people there, and the food was amazing. Chefs, I had a nice big chef salad. Now, roast beef on a salad is very hit and miss. So it had, you know, bacon, and I think it had bacon, chicken, and then it had roast beef. And that's always, you never know how that's going to turn out. I'm not sure roast beef belongs on a salad. So, but I decided to take a chance. And it was really good. It was excellent food, very good food. The server smacked my dad in the head with a water cup. That was fun. It was the brim of his hat, but it was like, you looked like he got shot, you know, like, poke, all stunned. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I ended up doing on Mother's Day. Well, the Saturday, the day before Mother's Day, went and met my mother in Payson, Arizona. But on a side note, it just so happens that Payson, Arizona has a Goodwill. True fact. And of course, my son and I, being the thrift kind of people that we are, we decided to stop in. Hey, brand new Goodwill to us, right? Never been, no clue what we're looking at, no clue what we're looking for. And turned out pretty good. Got a handful of CDs, and I got that little speaker thing that I reviewed on my channel over the weekend. So it was kind of cool. It was a nice little trip. There was right next to the Goodwill. This is funny. Right next to the Goodwill, like 3 stores down, is a thrift store. And I told Brian, I said, man, I wonder who was here first. Because it was the thrift store that was here first. I bet they were pissed when Goodwill moved in. But you know what? There's a huge difference between Goodwill and a thrift store. And I wasn't completely clear on that. I was thinking Goodwill, thrift store, mutually, a mutual sort of thing. Totally different. It's sort of like Walmart versus Target. So Walmart, at least the Walmarts that I go to, that I've been around, kind of like cesspools, right? A little bit dirty, There's stuff in the aisles, not the upmost upper class, that sort of thing, Walmart. Or Target. You go to Target, it's like Walmart, but a little more upscale, depending on which Target you go to. But that's sort of the idea between the Goodwill and the thrift store. And the thrift store was, it was just amazingly curated. Everything had a spot. There was no random chaos going on. It was very nice. And we talked to the lady there, and turned out that this thrift store had been somewhere else in Payson. Payson's not that big, Jesus. And she was talking like we were local, which was great because I had to wait for her to be done telling us about it before I said, well, we're not from here. So, we don't know where, it's like in the South where everything's related to a Piggly Wiggly. In Payson, everything's related to like a Chevron gas station, apparently. So she's like, yeah, this used to be to the south of the northern Chevron station, blah, blah, blah. So, oh, well, we're not from here. Oh, well, we moved it over here, and then the Goodwill showed up, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah. Nice lady, had a nice little chat. Walked away with, I think, 4 CDs from there, $2 a piece, a little more upscale, gotta pay. But they were all nice and neat and organized. All the CDs were in there, which is definitely something you don't get at Goodwill. Man, so I went to a Goodwill, was it yesterday or on Saturday when I got back? I don't remember. We were going to stop, but Brian wasn't feeling well, but I think I went back out. I don't remember. The whole weekend's a blur. Anyway, I went out, and there was this Goodwill had a beautiful CD section with CDs I've never seen at a Goodwill, right? There's certain things you see every single Goodwill. And by the way, this is location agnostic. If you go to any Goodwill and they have CDs, you will find at least one Clay Aiken CD. You will find at least five Barry Manilow CDs. It's guaranteed. When you go to Goodwill and you look at CDs, trust me on this one, go and you'll see. There's always a Susan Boyle there. There's always like 2 John Tesh albums there. It's creepy. And you would think that would be like a regional thing. No. Every Goodwill from here to Payson to Wenatchee, all the Goodwills, they always have a Clay Aiken. But this one had shit you never see. Every now and then you'll get like a cool band like Tom Petty, Creedence, you'll get these one-offs, and 99% of the time there's no disc in the case. And you think you just found the greatest find ever. You found, Lenny Kravitz or whatever. You found something really, really good. Smashing Pumpkins, you open up the case, no disc. Happens all the time. So this time, there was like a Creed 3-disc collection, fold-out collection. Now, I'm not a huge Creed fan, but I never see Creed at Goodwill. Open it up, 2 of the discs are missing. Fuck. All right, so I would have bought it for $2 just out of curiosity's sake, right? $1.49, whatever it was. And then I found like Beatles Anthology. It's a 2-disc clamshell. I was like, get the fuck out. You never find Beatles. Never find Beatles at Goodwill. Occasionally you'll find Elvis. Occasionally you'll find Rolling Stones. But the Beatles, forget about it. And if you do find it, no disc. And guess what? One of the discs was missing. I almost said, fuck it, just bought the 1 disc. But it was more of the principle of the thing. Then I found another disc that I really wanted. I can't remember who it was. No cover, no insert, right? And it's like, fuck it. I'm willing to wait. I'm in no big hurry. So put that one back. But it was crazy. It was like all these great bands, all the shit that you would hope to find at Goodwill, but there's no disc. There's something missing. One of them looked like it had been in a flood, like a Katrina disc. And anyway, so I just thought it was funny that this that you like got all these greatest hits stuff that you want to pick up, and they're all gone. They're all missing. But I did manage to lay my hands. I'll tell you what my new thing is at Goodwill for CDs. And I don't know why, but these all of a sudden are coming out of the woodwork. I don't normally see them, and when I do, I jump on them. So there are publishers like Time Life or Rhino. There's a handful of these guys that put out these giant collections of era music, right? So like Rhino's greatest hits of the 80s, volume 1 through 20. There's like 20 volumes of 80s hits, and they're all hits. They're all good. It's like the 80s were a huge era of one-hit wonders anyway, right? So, it's no big deal. Even if you're an album person, probably the 80s wasn't really the generation for you, right? But you get these things, and it's like everything's a hit. Everything on there, hit. There's 15 songs on there. Every one of them are like top 10 hits from the 80s. It's like, damn, this is awesome. And I got one the other day. I like old 60s music. You kind of like what your parents listened to when you were growing up. So it was called Malt Shop Memories or something like that. Again, there was like 10 discs in this collection. I got number 3 and 8. And then this weekend I picked up the 80s ones. It was New Wave 80s. And I got 2 of the volumes. Of course, I didn't get any of the other ones, but I got 2 of the volumes. It was from Rhino. But the Time Life stuff, they have it for every era, every genre. All you got to do is hope that you get there before they got picked clean. So far, I've only seen 2 of any given collection. And get this. So the next Goodwill that I went to had I couldn't believe this, had the Time Life New Wave 80s Hits Volume 6. One of the ones I didn't have from the other store. Open it up. No disc. Fuck. Whatever. So yeah, it's like the greatest scavenger hunt ever, trying to find shit at Goodwill. I love it. Yep, so that was my weekend in a nutshell. Didn't feel like much of a weekend, to be honest. 4 hours in the car, a couple hours up there. We stopped by, so we did on the way out of town. My son looked like he was miserable. His meds had worn off, and I'm like, take some more meds. I didn't bring any more with me, and I'm like, you knew we were going to be on this long car ride. So we stopped. I got him a COVID test, and we tested him for COVID. No COVID, thank God. But we doped him up, put a couple snacks in his belly, and he just kind of vegged the rest of the trip. But anywho, so yeah, that's pretty much my weekend in a nutshell. Let's see if I can get myself off the highway. If there was anything else that happened over the weekend, I can tell you something fun. So you guys know I did this review. I've been really into physical CD players, physical music players. And I picked up the SMSL P100, and I ended up having to do 4 fucking videos on it because people kept asking questions, and I didn't cover everything the first couple of times through. Is it gapless? Is it Redbook compatible? Blah blah blah. So I mean, it was like a mini series from the 80s. How much fucking effort and time I put into these this PL100. So I got a note from a Chinese manufacturer. It must be the ones that handle SMSL. That's the brand name, but they're not the ones that actually make it or ship it, right? So they wrote to me and said, hey, listen, we liked your review of the SMSL PL100. We would like you to review I think it was the 250L or something. And I'm like, oh man, do I really want to do another CD player? So I click on the link. They give you a link. It's like, well, we would like to work with you and promote our new product, the PL250 or whatever. So I go and look at it, and this is a $500 CD player. I mean, the PL100 was like a $100 player. So this is super deluxe. MQA, CD transport. I had to put that in there. My friends will get that. It's got it all, and it's it is the upscale fucking condominium version of the CD player. So I'm like, God, So I said to myself, okay, I'm gonna politely decline. And so I gave him the pitch where it's like, I appreciate the thought. I don't do paid compensated endorsements, right? Because it's like, we'll write you a big commission check, blah blah blah, and it's like, no, I don't really work that way. I appreciate you thinking about, considering me. Plus $500 is a little upscale for my user, my visitors, my viewers, my subscribers probably aren't going to lay out $500 for a CD player. But thank you so much. Again, I appreciate it. I understand the PL150 is coming out, and that would definitely, this supposedly fixes some of the Redbook shit that's wrong with the PL100. And I said, when you get the 150, please write me back again. We can talk about it. That would be more, more my demographic with the PL100. Hey now, hey, what's going on, man? So I wrote him this really nice, no thank you. They wrote back and said, oh, well, we appreciate your, I'm translating from Chinese to English back to English. We appreciate your candor, blah, blah, blah. Let's see how your review goes on this 250, and then we'll consider, when the 150s come in stock, we'll send you one of those if everything works out well. I couldn't even tell him no. I basically told him no. I said, no, thank you. And it's like, yeah, no, we're good with your terms. Here, give us your address so we can go ahead and send it. So I've got like this $500 fucking boutique CD player coming. Now, what makes this funny is it plays something called MQA, which until roughly the time I looked up the CD player, I had no clue what MQA even was. But apparently it's another format. You guys know I love these oddball fucking formats. I've been doing videos on them. I've got like 2 more videos to do. I keep collecting this shit. And so it's like, so this one will play back MQA. And I'm like, well, shit, I don't have any MQAs. I don't even know what that format is. So of course I hit eBay, and like any other oddball Japanese, pretty much Japanese only formats, anybody that you care about is like $60. So I'm looking at like Huey Lewis and the News, I'm looking at REM, I'm looking at these groups, and it's like, Jesus, $60 for a CD? Get the fuck out of here, and I'm like, okay, I've got to be able to do better than that. So there's a couple of like MQA samplers. They have like these sample CDs for like, I assume, boutiques or whatever that are selling MQA compatible hardware. They have these demo CDs, but they're $26 for a demo CD. I'm going, fuck, man. If I'm going to pay $26, I should at least be able to get something that I like, or something, an artist that I need a CD of them or something. So I went to Amazon and I found the Essential Stevie Wonder, which is great because oddly enough, Stevie Wonder is not something you find at Goodwill, and it's not something I would go out of my way to buy, right? So it's like, okay, so here's an MQA. It's got all of Stevie's greatest hits on it. I mean, it's literally a great album. And it's MQA, and it's $26. Same price as the demo CD. I'm thinking, good to go. So I got the disc, still waiting for the CD player to come. I'm sure it's drop shipping from China or something on one of those empty shipping containers, right? And so I got the MQA. So now I've got to figure out, what can I do with the MQA? Is it like, do you have to have a special player for it? How does that work? What can I do with it now while I'm waiting for the CD player? So as it turns out, MQA, if I understand it right, I'm no expert yet, I'm getting there. So MQA is a backward compatible audio CD, right? So you can drop it in any MP3 or any CD player, and it'll play standard. They say that it's slightly higher quality audio, but I don't know how that would be. If it's a standard CD player, why would it be any higher quality audio? But that's what they say. And so the MQA is like, it is a sort of a descriptive language written into the space with the audio file. Okay. So the concept here is, I think it's a lot like the HD CD format, of which is coming up in a video. I'm going to be showing you one of those too. Where basically it's a backward compatible audio format with some sort of a descriptor wrapped into it. And if the player has the ability to read those descriptors, it can manipulate the audio in certain ways